So let's first understand what was given in the question. So in this question, we have two pie charts. Let's start after getting Sachin's total international score. Okay. So indirectly, you are telling me not to start the class, isn't it? Okay. Good one. So the following, here we have two pie charts. Okay. So one pie chart is showing the total percentage distribution of total students passed from 6 different colleges. So here we E, D, E, and F. Okay. So this chart gives us the percentage distribution of total students passed from these 6 different colleges. Whereas the second pie charts, it's showing us the percentage distribution of girls passed from 6 different colleges. Okay. Now the total number of students passed is 7.5 thousand, so 7,500, and 40% of them are girls. So 40% of 7,500 is 3,000. So out of 7,500, 3,000 girls passed the exam. So what can we infer? The remaining 4,500 are boys, isn't it? So out of the 7,500, 300 are girls, sorry, 3,000 are girls, and remaining 4,500 are boys. Now tell me, with this pie chart and given with the total number of students, can we determine total number of students passed from each college? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we determine total number of girls passed from each college? Yes. So using these two, we can determine the total number of boys passed from each college. Okay. So just help me with the calculations part. Okay. So 7,500 are the total number of students passed. Okay. So the number of total students passed from A will be 7,500 into percentage, 16% by 100. So 16% of total students, 7,500, are from college A. Okay. So this will be nothing but
1200.
1,200. Okay. Now from college B. So this will get by multiplying 75 into 18. I think it will be 1,200 with 1350. Perfect. So from college C, 750, 75 into 10, 750. So from college D, 75 into 17. So it will be 1,275, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
1,275. 75 into 15, it will be 1,125. 1,200 minus 75, 1,125, and 75 into 24. So this will be 1,500 plus 300, 1,800. Yes. Clear? Okay. So number of girls passed. Okay, so the total number of girls are 3,000. So from college A we have 20%. So 3,000 into 20 by 100.
600.
Okay. So this will be 600. Okay. Now from so it will be 30 into 16, 480. And from college C it will be 10 into 30, so 300. From D 22 into 30, so 660. Okay, so 30 into 14, which will be 420, and 30 into 18, which is 540. So these are the data that we are given with. Now let us look at question number 6. Okay, so in which of the following colleges is the ratio of number of boys passed to number of girls passed is 1:1? So this is indirectly telling me that the number of girls passed should be equal to number of boys passed, and we have to determine that college in which the number of girls is equal to number of boys passed, isn't it? So total college are 1,200, number of girls passed are 600. So number of boys passed will be 1,200 minus 600, so 600. Yes. Do we have that in options?
Yes, sir.
Option A. Now let us find out number of boys for each of these remaining 5 colleges, because they are required to answer Some questions, isn't it? So B 1350 and 480.
870.
870. Okay. Now 750 and 300, 450. Now 1275 and 660, it will be 615 and 1125 and 420. 1705, isn't it? 705 and 1800 minus 540, 1260. Perfect. Now we have the total number of boys passed from these 6 colleges, isn't it? Yes. Now let us look at the questions. Now 17th one. In which of the following colleges is the number of passed girl students more than number of passed boy students? Okay. So in A, no. And what are the options? B, C, D, E. Okay. B, C, D, E. So okay, let's find in which college this is possible. So 480, no. 300, 450, no. 60 and 650. Yes. Okay, in E college 420 and 705, no. F 540 and 1260, no. Okay, so the number of girls passed are more than number of boys passed in college D. So the answer for this question should be option C. Now, in which of the following colleges the difference between the number of passed boy students and the number of passed girl students is maximum? Okay, so the options are B, D, F, A. Now, can this be A? No, because number of girls passed is equal to number of boys passed. Okay, so the difference should be maximum, isn't it? Can it be D? No, because 660 minus 615 is 45. Okay, now coming to B, 870 minus 480. This is 390, isn't it? Okay, now coming to F, 1260 minus 540. This is 720. So this value is max. Clear? Any doubts still here, guys? Quick responses. No doubts. Okay. Now coming to 19th question. The boy students who passed from college E is approximately what percent of girl student passed from college C? So boy students passed from college, isn't it? So 705 is what percent of girl student passed from college C, isn't it? Yeah. So 705 is what percent of 300 into 100. So is 705 divisible by 3? Yes, total is 12, isn't it? So this will be 2, 3, 235, isn't it? Do we have 235 in the options? Yes. So the answer for this question should be option B. Now the number of boys who passed from college B. The number of boys who passed from college B, so 870, is approximately what percent more or less than the girls who passed from the same college? So 870 minus 480. This is 390. Now we need to find the percentage. So what will be in the denominator? Will it be 870 or 480? Will it be number of boys or number of girls? 480. 480. Perfect. Because here we need to determine this the number of boys passed from college B is approximately what percent more or less than the number of girls who passed from the same college. So we are comparing this value with number of girls. So 480 into 100. And approximate value, isn't it? So take and the difference is more than 5. So consider this as 39 by 48. Instead, consider this as 40 by 50 into 100. So this is 80. So the answer should be 81, I guess. So what's the answer? Yes, 81. So when the difference is more, you can approximate. Okay, when the difference is less, then you need to be very careful. Okay, it's 81.25. Okay, fine. But I would have done like this. Clear, guys? Clear, quick responses.
Yes, sir.
So can I move to next question? Yeah. So moving ahead. Yeah. So what kind of graph is this? This is a bar graph, and these type of graphs are called stacked bar graph. Okay. So we have 5 questions. I'll give you 6 minutes. We'll discuss this after 6 minutes.
గ్రాఫ్ మొత్తం కింద ఫుల్ గా లేదు సార్. సార్ ఫస్ట్
We have 4 different responses here, but the answers for first 3 questions are same. So CBCD and CBCDB are two major answers. Okay, are the answers by majority of people. So last 1 minute, guys. Yes, guys. So let's see. CBCAC. Okay. So the answers are CBCDA. Okay. Now, now we are given with a stacked bar chart. Okay, giving us the details about the composition of GDP of two countries. What is GDP? What is GDP?
Gross domestic product.
Okay, so how is it calculated?
Some of the gross products of individual services in a group, sir. Suppose in a country there are so many sources of agriculture, sir, in a country, so many sources of income, no, sir. Calculating
Yes.
each and every part.
Total
Example,
income by total work.
So it is the total income received in a country. Okay.
Okay.
So if we consider India, it is nothing but the total income received by people living in that economy. It's not profit.
Yes.
It's not profit. Okay, it's the money received by all the participants in the country, all the citizens in the country. Okay, so now we have GDPs of two countries, India and Pakistan. Okay, so let me consider the total GDP of India as 100x and Pakistan as 100y. Okay, now out of this 100x, how much is spent on agriculture in India? How much is spent on agriculture out of this 100x? 40x.
40%.
Yes, 40x is spent on agriculture. Then, so this is 40x. So how much is spent on services?
20x,
20x.
sir.
20. Perfect. So you need to consider the value of this part. So this is 20%, isn't it? So 20x is spent on services. Then again, 10x is spent on manufacturing, 20x on exports, and remaining 10x on the miscellaneous. Whereas, okay, in Pakistan, yeah, 40y is spent on agriculture, 20y is spent on services, then 20%, 20y is spent on manufacturing, then 10y is spent on exports, and remaining 10y on miscellaneous expenses. Now, if I look at 21st question, if the GDP of Pakistan is 10,000 crores, so this total 100y is equal to 10,000 crores. Then the GDP accounted by for manufacturing section is, so if 100y is equal to 10,000 crores, okay, what was the amount that was spent for manufacturing? 20y, isn't it? So you need to find the value of 20y, which will be 2000 crores. So out of this total GDP 10,000 crores, 2000 crores are spent for manufacturing. So the answer for this question should be C. Now, what fraction of GDP is accounted by services? So if I consider total 100x as the GDP of India, what was the GDP accounted for by services? 20%, isn't it? So 20x is for services. So what is the fraction here? 20x by 100x. So 1 by 5, isn't it? Yeah. So if you can understand this stacked bar chart, you can answer these questions. Okay. Now coming to 23rd. If the total GDP of India is 30,000 crores, then GDP accounted for by agriculture, services, and miscellaneous. So agriculture, it is 40%. Services, it is 20%. Miscellaneous, it is 10%, isn't it? So 70% of India's GDP is accounted for these three sections only. So 70% of 30,000. What is 70% of 30,000? 70 by 100 into
21,000.
30,000. So 21,000. So 21,000 crores are accounted for these three departments. So the answer for this question is C. So we have got right answers for these three questions. Now let's check for 24 and 25. Now, which country accounts for higher earnings out of services and manufacturing together? Higher earning out of services and manufacturing together. Okay. For example, if I consider 100x as total India's GDP and 100y as total Pakistan's GDP, services and manufacturing together. So you have this will be 20x plus manufacturing. This will be 10x. Okay. Whereas for Pakistan it will be 20x. Sorry, 20y plus 20y. So we have 30x here, okay, and 40y here. So which is more, 30x or 40y?
Can't be determined, sir, because we
This
don't know
cannot.
about X and Y values.
Perfect. So we do not know the values of x and y, or we do not, okay, being not given with the amounts of GDP of these countries, we cannot determine which country accounts for higher earnings out of the services and manufacturing together. So the answer for this question should be cannot be determined, because we have two values, 30x and 40y. Which is more, we don't know. We should know the values of x and y, isn't it? So to know the value of x, we should be given with the total GDP of these two countries. Okay, we were not given with them, so the answer should be cannot be determined. Okay, so don't answer this as Pakistan, no. Clear, guys? So most of you guys have committed mistake in 24th question. Okay, so the answer is not Pakistan, it will be cannot be determined. Any doubts? Quick responses. No. Now coming to 25th question. So if the GDP is same for the both countries. So for example, India's GDP is also 100x and Pakistan's GDP is also 100x. Then what percentage is Pakistan's income through agriculture? So what is Pakistan's income through agriculture? It will be 40% of this. So 40x is over India's income through services. So what is India's income through services? 20x, isn't it? Okay. So then what percentage is Pakistan income through agriculture is over India's income through services? Okay. So this is 20x, this is 40x. So how much more? 40x is 20x more than 20x. And what should be in denominator? With which are we
20x.
comparing? 20x or 40x?
X.
20x.
20x. Because we are comparing, yeah, 20x will be in denominator because we are comparing the increase, or we are comparing the more value with India's income through services, isn't it? So 20x by 20x into 100. So the answer for this question should be 100%. Clear? So 24 and 25 are some tricky questions, two tricky questions. Okay. So the answer should be C, B, C, D, I guess. Clear, guys? Any doubts
Yes,
in
sir.
data interpretation? Well, quick responses, please. No doubts. Okay. So moving to Venn diagrams. So what type of questions will be asked on Venn diagrams? Any idea?
Sets, sir. Giving sets.
Syllogisms is different. So in syllogisms, we will be using Venn diagrams. Okay, you have two methods, a ticks and cross and Venn diagrams. Okay, so you will be using
Text problem.
Venn diagrams in ticks and crosses, isn't it? But what type of questions will be asked on Venn diagrams? Either questions will be asked on diagram or three-set Venn diagram. But recently, okay, questions of another type are also being asked, which I consider to be simple. So are you guys ready? Shall we solve some problems on Venn diagrams, like to know what
Yes,
type
sir.
of questions will be asked? Yeah. So I'll give you 2 minutes. We'll discuss this after 2 minutes. So from past 2 years, okay, I have seen these type of questions coming in many of your CRT exams. So we have 6 different responses. BG, FD, BGF, ABG, only A and B. Okay. Yes, guys, time's up. So we have, yeah, many different responses. Now, so how to, yeah, so how to solve these type of questions? First, let us understand that. So in the following figure, square represents teachers. So this is the square, this represents teachers. Triangle represents swimmers. Sorry. Then circle represents nurses. And rectangle represents women. Okay. Now what does this C represent? So this was divided into 4 areas. Triangle, 4 figures. Triangle, circle, square, and rectangle. Okay. What does this C represent? And it was divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 regions. 9 regions, isn't it? Okay. Okay, let's go from here. What is this H represent?
Nurse, sir.
Only nurses, isn't it? Only nurses. Okay, what is this I represent? Only swimmers. What does this E represent? Only women. women, and F represent only teachers, isn't it? Now, what does this C represent? This region,
Lady swimmer.
who are
Both.
swimmers and women, who are women and swimmers. Okay. Now, what does this B represent? This is the common region between swimmers and teachers.
Teachers.
Okay. So B represents swimmers and teachers. What does this G represent?
Nurses and
Teacher and
teachers.
nurse.
Nurses and teachers, isn't it?
Nurses and teachers.
And what does this D represent?
Women.
Woman and teacher.
Teachers who are women. Okay.
Teachers are women.
Okay. And what does this region A represent? Who are swimmers?
Teacher, swimmer,
Women.
women.
Teachers, not nurses. Okay. So A represents the persons who are swimmers, teachers, and women. So we have 9 different regions. You first need to identify which region represents what. Now, which set of letters represents teachers who are either swimmers or nurses? Okay, so we need to determine those regions, okay, which represents teachers who are swimmers, teachers and swimmers. Okay, the region common to teachers and swimmers, the region common to teachers and nurses. Now, my doubt here is, okay, do we also consider teachers who are swimmers and nurses? Sorry, and nurses. If we
Yes,
have
sir.
any
No, sir.
region, do we have to consider this? Yes or no?
Consider
No.
teacher.
Either or.
Either or. If we have any region, okay, common to all these three, teachers, swimmers, or nurses, do we have to consider that or not?
No, sir.
Why?
Either.
He is asking either swimmer or nurse, not both.
But it was asked that teachers who are, it was not asked that teachers who are either only swimmers or teachers who are either only nurses. Isn't it? So we need to find the region common between these two. And this also should be included because it is mentioned that teachers who are either swimmers or nurses. It is not mentioned that teachers who are only swimmers or teachers who are only nurses. No. Okay. So which region represents teachers who are swimmers? What is the region between swimmers and teachers? B, isn't it? Okay. Only B, or do we have any other region?
Yeah.
A also.
If-
Kada? A also. So this entire region is common between triangle and teachers and square, isn't it? So we need to consider both B and A. So you need to find the region which is in the intersection of teachers and swimmers. So swimmers is represented by triangle, teachers by square. So you need to find the region common between these two. So we have region B as well as region A, isn't it? Yes or no? Quick responses. Yeah. So it will
Yes,
be
sir.
B plus A. Now do we have any common intersection between teachers and
G, sir.
nurses?
G, sir.
Yes.
G.
Teachers is G, nurses is yes. Yeah. So you have G. Okay. Now do we have any region common between these three? Teachers, nurses, and swimmers?
No.
No. So we do not have any. So the answer for this question should be
Bag.
B, A, and G. Okay. So these three regions represent teachers who are either swimmers or nurses. Clear? Clear, guys? These are easy questions, but don't get confused. Is there any difficulty in attempting these questions? No. These should be attempted, and these will take least number of time, less time when compared to questions from other topics. Okay. So these are easy. Okay. Don't make any mistakes in these questions.
Sir,
Clear?
either.
Okay, so yeah, ఏ women అయినా ప్రాబ్లం లేదు కదా, because which set of letters represent teachers who are either swimmers or nurses అన్నారు. Okay, did it specify that the teacher should be women? No, the teachers can be either men or women. There is no mention of gender, isn't it? BAG can be in any order. It's not required that it should be B plus A plus G. In options, you will be given with A. Okay, option A as A, for example. Option B as A plus B. Option C as A plus B plus G. And option D as A plus B plus G plus D. Then your answer should be option C, A plus B plus G. So here I am not providing you with options because you might go through options. Okay, so can I move to next question? Yeah, we'll discuss your doubts in these questions. Don't worry. Are you guys ready? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'll give you 1 minute now. So if it is given either teachers or nurses, then you should find the common region between swimmers and teachers and swimmers and nurses. Okay.
$15.
Okay. Only one region.
So one
Okay.
region, that is number 15.
Let's see. Yeah. So in the figure shown below, the rectangle represents managers. Okay. The triangle represents women. Now, how many singers are neither women nor managers? So singers, we have, how many regions do we have? This circle represents singers, isn't it? Okay. So we have 4 different regions inside this circle. So this 7 represents singers who are women. This 12 represents singers who are managers. Okay, and this 4 represents singers who are women and managers. Okay, now what was asked in the question? How many singers are neither women? So they should not be women. So you cannot consider this 7, and you cannot also consider this 4, because these 4 persons are also women as well as singers. So you should not consider these 2, and who are neither managers also. You should not consider 12, and you should not consider this 4. So we are left with only one region, that is 15. So this region represents only singers who are neither women nor managers. Okay, so the answer is 15. Clear? Now tell me, if I ask you in this figure, okay, so let this be number of persons.
Size 15 is number of person, or I don't clarify, sir. Is 15 is just a name or number, sir?
A number also, or it can be region also. Okay, it doesn't matter. Your answer will be 15 only, isn't it?
Sir, I counted like 15 is number 1 and 7 is number 2. It's like, sir, I kept answer 1. Is I kept 1 is right or wrong?
So if you have options like option A, it will be option A 15, option B 12, option C 7, and option D 16. Which will you mark?
15, sir.
Option A. Yeah. So that will
Sir,
be your
he's
answer.
counting 15 as a single. 15
Yeah,
as one.
15 as 1. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
And
15.
because there is no proper order, no, sir.
Okay,
15
so
as a number 1.
so you can consider this 15 as a number.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Now I have a question for you guys. If I ask you how many singers, okay, how many singers do we have who are women? Singers and women.
7.
What will be your answer?
7.
7.
7 and 4, sir.
Seven
7,
or
4.
7 and 4?
7 and 4, sir.
7 and 4,
Seven.
sir.
It should be 7 and 4. Okay, because these four are also singers as well as women, isn't it? So it will be 7 and 4. If I say that how many singers who are women and not managers,
7.
7, sir.
then you will have 7. Okay, or if I ask you how many singers are only women, then you will have 7 as the answer. Otherwise it will be 7 and 4. Clear? Clear, guys? Yeah, perfect. So moving ahead. So I'll give you 1.5 minutes to answer this. We'll discuss this after 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. So here the numbers are number of persons in that segment.
Sixteen, sir.
Okay. So please drop your answers in the chat box. Please don't disclose. Okay, 23 responses. So we have different responses coming. 20, 16, 30. 30 is not in the options. 42 is also not in the options. Okay, let's see. So in the following diagram, the triangle stands for males. So these are males. The circle stands for doctors. The rectangle for stands for government employed. Okay. The hexagon stands for corona warriors. Yeah. Now the numbers in the different segments show the number of persons for the segment. Now how many government employed doctors? Now let us find out what is the common region between government employed and doctors. Okay. So this 35, this 14, this 22, and this 16, isn't it? This is the common region between doctors and government employed. Clear? Any doubts? So what are the regions, or what are the number of people who are government doctors? It will be 35, these 35, okay, 14, 22, and 16, isn't it? Now, out of these government employed doctors, who are corona warriors? Okay, so that should be common to this hexagon also. So I can eliminate 35 and 14 because these are not corona warriors. So this can be eliminated and this can be eliminated, but are not males. So out of this 22 and 16, do we have any males? Yes,
22 male.
these 22 are male, isn't it? Should not consider that. Okay, so the answer should be 16. Direct. So why are we not? Why did not we consider this 14? Because they are not corona warriors. So first we need to find the intersection between government employed and doctors. So we have 4 regions with us. 35, 14, 22, and 16. Okay, these 35 and 14, they are not corona variants, hence can be eliminated. So, what are the regions common between corona variants and government employed doctors? 22 and 16. So, out of this, these 22 are males, isn't it? Okay, as per the question, they should not be males. So, you can eliminate this 22, and we have 16 government employed doctors who are corona variants, and but not males. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Quick responses, please. Okay, so we will be having in if the question who are doctors and corona warriors. So if it is if you are asked with for example say government doctors who are corona warriors, okay, then it will be 22 plus 16. If you are only talking about government doctors, then it will be 35, 14, 22, and 16. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Quick responses. So find the region common between two parameters. Find the number. Okay, and if it is given but not males, okay, then remove that part and find the answer. Ante. Okay. Yeah. So answer should be 16. Perfect. So 1 minute for this question.
Already.
22, 73, 22, 73. Okay. Now let's see. So the answer should be 73. Now, how many government employed doctors? So first, let us find the common region between government employed and doctors. Okay, so we have 35, 14, 22, and 16, isn't it? The region, because circle represents doctors, okay, and rectangle represents government employed, isn't it? So I can say that all these 35 plus 14 is 49. 49 plus 22 is what? 71. 71 and 16 is
87.
87, isn't it? So these 87 are government employed doctors, isn't it? Now, how many government employed doctors are either corona warriors or males or both? Okay, so how many of them are government employed doctors and corona warriors?
16
Corona
22.
warriors, 16 and 22, isn't it? So can we consider corona warriors and males? Yes, isn't it? So 22 plus 16. Now, how many government employed doctors are males? So we have three conditions here. Government employed doctors plus males will be one region. Government employed doctors plus corona warriors will be one region. And government employed doctors plus corona corona warriors plus males will be one region. Okay, so you need to consider government employed doctors who are corona warriors, government employed doctors who are males, and government employed doctors who are both. Okay, so government employed doctors who are males, how many do we have?
35 and
35,
22.
35. 35, right? 35. Okay. Now, how many government employed doctors are corona warriors? 16. How many government employed doctors are corona warriors and males? 22. Okay. So 35 plus 16 is 51. 51 plus 22 is 73. So 73 should be the answer for this question. Or from 87, subtract this 14 because they are not males and they are also not corona warriors. So you can do that in any way. You can find the number of government employed doctors who are males, government employed doctors who are corona warriors, and government employed doctors who are corona warriors and males. Isn't it? You can do like this or find the total number of government employed doctors. From that, subtract who are not males and not corona warriors. So 87 minus 14 is also 73. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Quick responses. Okay, so please understand the difference between or and and. Okay, for example, I will tell you small example. So we have two types of people: people who drink tea, who drink coffee. Okay, there are 10 people who drink only tea. There are 20 people who drink only coffee, and we have, let us say, 5 people who drink both tea and coffee. Okay, now if I ask you, how many people drink either tea or coffee?
30, sir.
Then what will be your answer?
30.
30 or 5?
Yes, sir.
5, sir.
Either
30.
30.
It should be 35, isn't it? Okay, and they can see these 10 people are also drinking tea, these 20 people are also drinking coffee, and these 5 people are also drinking either tea or coffee. They are drinking both. So the answer should be 35. Now if I ask you, how many of them are drinking tea and coffee?
5.
And then you will have only 5 as the answer. Okay, or if I ask you, how many of them are drinking only tea or only coffee? Only tea or only coffee? Then it will be 30. Okay, so please understand the difference between or and and. Or అయితే ఇదేనా అవ్వచ్చు అదేనా అవ్వచ్చు. If it is and, both should happen. Okay, so we have only 5 people drinking both tea and coffee. So the answer should be 5. Clear, guys?
Sir,
Yeah.
government employed doctors and males అన్నప్పుడు 22 కూడా వస్తుంది కదా సార్?
22 ఆల్రెడీ కన్సిడర్ చేసాం కదమ్మా.
అంటే 35 ప్లస్ 22 ఇంకో 22 రాదా సార్? ఓన్లీ
సో
ఫస్ట్
ఓన్లీ ఇవే
కేసులో.
కదా, ఓన్లీ ఇవే కదా. సో ఫస్ట్ కేసులో గవర్నమెంట్ ఎంప్లాయ్ డాక్టర్స్ హూ ఆర్ మేల్స్ ఒకటే తీసుకున్నాం. Now tell me, who are government employed doctors who are males? 35. Okay, now government employed doctors who are only corona barriers, 16. Now government employed doctors who are corona barriers and males, 22.
ఓకే సార్.
Clear? Ma, clear ainda?
ఎస్ సార్.
Okay.
Sir, if you ask government employed doctors who are males, then what is the answer?
Then male who are males, then it will be 35 plus 22.
In the same thing, why don't we write at here government employed doctors plus males?
Plus males and రాసాను అనుకోండి, మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు? 35 plus 22 కన్సిడర్ చేస్తారు. ఎంత వస్తుంది? If you consider government employed doctors who are males and రాస్తే 35 plus 22. So you'll get 57. Then if I ask you, how many government employed doctors are coronavirus అన్నాను అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు what will you determine? Now tell me, how many government employed doctors are corona warriors? Hello.
38.
38. Okay. Okay. Now how many government doctors who are males, who are either males or coronavirus అన్నప్పుడు many students will add these two. Okay, so please understand here that 22 is common between these two. Okay, so here also we have to consider 22. Here also we have to consider 22. That's why I have taken it separately. Otherwise, there is a chance that you will be counting 22 twice. Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Understand it now. How did I? Why did I take it separate? So if I consider government employed doctors who are males, what will you do? 35 plus 22. Government employed doctors who are coronavirus, again you will add 35 plus 22. But you will forget that this 22 we have already considered here. So that's the reason I have taken them separately. So government employed doctors who are only males, government employed doctors who are only coronavirus, and then I am adding this. Government employed doctors who are both coronavirus and males. But did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So moving ahead. So I'll give you 1.5 minutes. We'll discuss this after 1.5 minutes. So how many of you consider them easy? How many of you feel that Venn diagram questions are easy? Only one? You can raise your hands. Easy. Okay. But you should be very careful while answering these questions, guys. So yes. So in the following diagram, the rectangle stands for, okay, tennis fans. The circle is for athletes, triangle for students, and square stands for hockey players. Okay. So the number in different segments show the number of persons. Now, how many athletes playing hockey are either students or tennis fans, but not both? So if you observe, we are given with that they should not be both students and tennis fans. Now let us find the areas common to athletes and hockey. So athletes is circle and hockey is this square, isn't it? So this region is common to athletes and hockey players, isn't it? So we have a total of 10 plus 5 plus 9, isn't it? So out of these, okay, so either students. So do we have common region between athletes playing hockey and students? Yes.
Five.
What is that? What is that region? How many students do we have?
5.
Perfect. 5. This region is common between athletes playing hockey and students. So I will divide this into athletes playing hockey plus students, or athletes playing hockey plus tennis fans. Now, can we have athletes playing hockey who are students and tennis fans? Should we consider
No.
this?
No.
No, because it is
Okay.
given in the question itself. So we have 5 persons who are students and who play hockey, and also athletes. Now let us find the region common to athletes playing hockey and tennis fans. So who are tennis fans? Rectangle. So it should be
9.
common between circle, square, and rectangle. So region 9. So this is 9. So we have a total of 14 persons. So the answer for this question should be 14. Easy, isn't it? Easy question. Yes? Any doubts, guys? Quick responses. No. Okay, so moving ahead. So you have 1.5 minutes.
Nine.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Five.
So you can send me the answers in the chat box. Okay. So triangle represents lawyers, rectangle engineers, circle teachers, square doctors, and yeah, that's it. Okay. So we need to find engineers who are lawyers as well as doctors. So the region should be common to engineers, lawyers, and doctors, isn't it? So first, let us find the region common to engineers and lawyers. So engineers is represented by rectangle and lawyers by triangle. So this will be the region common to engineers and lawyers. Okay, and doctors. So the final region should be common to doctors also. Doctors is represented by square. So among these three regions, common to square. This is also not common to square. So this part, okay, this 5 is the intersection of triangle, rectangle, and square, isn't it? So the answer 5 for this question should be 5. Clear? Quick responses. Okay. So in reality, can we have an engineer being a lawyer as well as a doctor? No. Okay. So these type of, yeah, tell me, ma, what's your doubt?
సార్ అక్కడ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ డాక్టర్ అన్నాడు కదా సార్
Yeah, as well as doctors అంటే engineers, lawyers, ఇంకా doctors కూడా.
సో మనకి డాక్టర్స్ రెక్టాంగిల్ అండ్
Doctors
ఓకే
square కదా. So
ఓకే
first identify the region common to lawyers and engineers step by step. Okay. So how many do we have? 5, 14, and 5, isn't it? Now we have to find the region which is common to doctors also. So, is this 5 doctors? Is square లో ఉన్నదా? లేదు. So you can eliminate that. Is this 14 common to this square? No. Is this 5? Yes. So this is the region, okay, region of intersection of engineers, lawyers, as well as doctors. So the answer for this question should be 5. Yes. Clear? As well as word as end. Yeah, as well as word you can also take as end. Okay, but in subject verb agreement there will be a separate rule for as well as, isn't it? So is subject verb agreement done now? No, I don't know. No. Okay, so then you will understand, okay, different between and as well as. Okay, now moving ahead. So 1.5 minutes. Please don't disclose your answers. So we have 3 different answers: 30, 15, 80, 20. Okay, 4 different answers. Now find out uh, the number of families which have TV and scooter but have neither VCR nor Maruti. So the family should have, they should have TV, they should have scooter. Okay, but they should not have VCR and they should not have Maruti. Isn't it? This was what was asked in the question. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now this circle represents families having VCR. This circle represents TV. This square represents families having scooter, and this rectangle represents families having Maruti. Now first let us find out the region common between TV and scooters. Okay. First let us find out the families which have TV and scooter. Okay. So that will be common to this square and this circle. This 30, this 80, this 20, and this 15, isn't it? So 30 plus 80 plus 20 plus 15 are the families which have TV and scooter, isn't it? Now we have to select those families which do not have either VCR or Maruti. Now what can you say about these 15 families? What are they having? They are having
Maruti,
TV, scooter, as well as they are having Maruti. Should we consider them? No. Okay. So this can be eliminated. Now coming to this 80. These 80 families are having TV, scooter, and VCR, isn't it? So should we consider these 80? No. Because they should not have VCR and they should have Maruti, isn't it? Now coming to this 20. What are these 20 families have? What do these 20 families have? They have TV, they
Maruti.
have VCR, they have scooter, and they have Maruti also. They're having all these 4 uh, what goods with them. Okay, so we cannot consider the 20 as well. So what do these 30 families have?
TV and scooters.
TV and
It has TV
scooter.
and code.
Yeah, so they do not have any other electronics or any other car, isn't it? So the answer for this question should be 30. So if I have to solve this question, I will be solving in this way. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Quick responses, please. Neither nor, either or. Man, neither nor under both. They should not have both. They should not have VCR. They should not have Maruti. Clear? Any doubts, guys? Quick responses. Clear. Okay. Moving ahead. So you have 1 minute.
C.
B plus C, B plus C, C. Okay, let's see. Now in the following figure, square represents philosophers. So this represents philosophers. Triangle represents police. Circle represents pharmacists. Rectangle represents Americans. Now which set of the later represents Americans who are police officers? So we need to find the common region between Americans and police officers. So it should be region common between rectangle and triangle. So how many regions do we have? B and C. So these B and C are police officers as well as Americans. Okay, so if it is asked that which set represents Americans and only police officers, then your answer will be C. But here it is asked to determine the regions which represent police officers and Americans. So it should be region common between Americans and police officers. So the answer for this question should be B plus C. It's not only C. It should be B plus C, isn't it? Because guys, please do understand this. Okay, so you need to find the region common between Americans and police officers. So I can say that this region B represents police officers as well as Americans. Okay, they represent pharmacists. It's okay. Okay, and this C also represents Americans and police officers, isn't it? So if the question is asked about which set represents Americans who are police officers and not pharmacists, then what will be your answer? Then your answer will be C. Or which set of the latter represents Americans who are only police officers? Then your answer will be C. But here we are asked to determine the set that represents Americans who are police officers. They can be pharmacists also. No condition given to us, isn't it? So in that case, consider the region common between police officers and Americans. You have two regions here, B and C. Any doubts, guys? Quick responses. Any doubts? Quick responses. No? Clear? Yeah.
AB.
Okay. A and B. Okay, let's see. So in the following figure, square represents dancers, triangle represents geologists, circle represents architects, and rectangle represents mothers. Okay. Now, which set of letters represents architects who are also geologists? Okay. So we need to find the region common between architects and geologists, isn't it? So common region between circle and triangle. So A and B. Can these architects and geologists be dancers? Yes, they can be. Okay, so the answer for this question should be both A and B. So if it is given that who are only geologists, then the answer will be B. Or who are geologists, not dancers, then the answer will be B. Otherwise, the answer will be A plus B. Clear, guys? Quick responses.
Okay.
Yes. Now, yeah, the last question of this kind. Then we'll move to questions on set theory.
FE.
Okay.
GFDI.
Please send your answers in the chat box. Please don't disclose. Okay, I want you people to make mistakes. Not in the exam, in the class. Okay. Okay, so in the following figure, square represents athletes. Okay. Triangle represents engineers. Rectangle represents entrepreneurs. Now, which set of letters represents athletes who are either entrepreneurs or fathers? Now, I will divide this into athletes plus entrepreneurs, athletes plus fathers. Now tell me, can we have athletes who are entrepreneurs and fathers? Can we consider this region? Yes or no? Quick responses.
No,
No.
sir.
No, sir.
No. Why? Is
Yes.
is it given? Is it given that they cannot be both? No, isn't it? Okay. Which set of letters represent athletes who are either entrepreneurs or fathers? Is it given that they should be only athletes and entrepreneurs and only athletes and fathers? No. Okay. So which
Can
set of letters
consider.
represent athletes who are either entrepreneurs? So let us find out the common region between athletes and entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs you have E and H, and
FE.
athletes you have no F and E, isn't it? So this region is common to athletes and entrepreneurs. Okay, so I will consider only A. Now athletes and fathers, this region D. Now do we have any other region common to athletes, entrepreneurs and fathers? Yes, we
Sir,
have
sir,
this.
sir, athletes plus engineers you mark as F, sir. You kept as D.
Okay.
F.
Okay. So this is athletes and entrepreneurs. It should be F. Yeah. So only athletes and entrepreneurs, it is F. Only athletes and fathers, it is D, isn't it? And all these three, athletes, entrepreneurs, and fathers, it is E. So the answer for this question should be F, D, and E. So you should also consider athletes who are entrepreneurs and fathers also. Clear, guys? Quick responses. Yes. Now, moving ahead to questions based on set theory. So this is a two set Venn diagram question, isn't it? So you have 5 questions. I'll give you 4 minutes. We'll discuss this after 4 minutes. Yes, guys. So, what is the answer for first question? Is it 140?
No, sir. It's not 140.
60.
Okay, let's see. So the answers are 60, 40, 20, 100, and 180. Okay, now let's discuss how. So in a college, 200 students are randomly selected. 200 students are randomly selected. So let us say this rectangle represents college. So in college, we have 200 students. Now out of these 200 students, 140 like tea. So let me consider this circle as the persons who like tea. This circle represents the person who likes tea, and this represents the persons who like coffee. Okay. Now it is given that 140 students like tea. So this entire circle represents 140 students, isn't it? Yes or no? This entire circle represents 140 students. Quick responses. Did you understand this? 140 like tea. Okay, so all the students inside this circle like tea, and 120 like coffee. Okay, and this entire circle represents the students who like coffee. Now, do we have any student who like both tea and coffee? Yes. So it is given that 80 students like both tea and coffee. So where will those 80 students be?
The
Where will
intersection.
the intersection
tea and
region?
coffee.
Yes. So I can say that those 80 people will be in this region. Now I can divide this region of T into two parts. One is 80 and let this be T. Okay, and coffee into two parts. So one is 80, one is this region and other region is this. Okay, so what does this region represent? What does this T represent?
Students who like
Who
only
like
tea.
only tea, because the students here in this region, they like only tea, and the students in this region like only coffee. Okay, now let us determine the value of tea and coffee. Okay, so this entire region represents 140 people. So 80 plus T is equal to 140, or this implies T is equal to 60. So the value of T is 60. Now this entire region represents 120 people. So 80 plus C is 120, and C is equal to 40 students. So out of these 140 students, only 60 students like only tea. The remaining 80 students like both tea and coffee, isn't it? So the answer for 11th question should be 60. How many students like only coffee? We have 40 students liking both tea and coffee. Sorry, only coffee. Now, do we have any student who does not like both this? Both tea and coffee?
20, sir.
20.
Okay. Now tell me, what are the total number of students who like either tea or coffee? Or at least
180.
one among tea and coffee? At least one
180.
among.
180.
Okay,
180.
perfect. So that will be 40. These 40 students like coffee. 60. These 60 students like tea. And we have 80 students who like both. So we have 180 students. Okay. So in the college, the total students are 200. So the remaining 20, they does not like tea as well as they does not like coffee. So where will those 20 students be? Those 20 students will be outside these two circles. Isn't it? So now can we answer these questions? Yes. So how many students like neither tea nor coffee? How many?
20, sir.
Perfect. 20. They don't like neither tea sorry, they don't like tea and they don't like coffee also. Okay, now how many students like exactly one among tea and coffee? Exactly one. So we have 40 students liking coffee plus 60 students liking tea. So these 100 students, okay, like only one of the beverages. It can be either tea or coffee. So the answer for this question should be 100. Now, how many students like at least one of the beverages? Okay, at least one, and they should be inside this region, isn't it? So it will be 40 plus 80 plus 60, 180. Or we have total of 200 students, out of which 20 does not like either of them. These 20, they do not like tea and they do not like coffee also. So this can be done by two ways, 200 minus 20 or 40 plus 80 plus 60. So the answer for this question should be 180. Clear? If you have any doubts in this question, quick responses, please. Quick responses. No, clear. Okay, perfect. Now this is a question from three-set Venn diagram. So we have 5 questions here. I'll give you 6 minutes. We'll discuss this after 6 minutes. we have different responses. Okay. Yes, guys. The answers for these questions should be 50, 30, 150, 60, and 190. Okay. Let's see. Now, so in this question, we have a total 240 employees of a company. Okay, so this outer region, this represents the company which has 240 employees. It is known that 100 speak English. So let me consider this circle represents the people speaking English. This represents the people speaking Hindi, and this represents people speaking Telugu. Okay. So we have 110 speaking Hindi, or okay, 100 speak English. So we have a total or 100 employees speaking English. Okay, 110 speaking Hindi and 140 speaking Telugu. Okay, so this set represents 100 people. This set represents 110, and this set represents 140. So please understand the difference between only Telugu and Telugu. So when it is said Telugu, people, these 140 people will be in this region. If it is given that these 140 speak only Telugu, then you will be considering only this region. Okay, so please understand the difference between these two, Telugu and only Telugu. Okay, now we have 30 speaking both English and Hindi, 50 speaking both Hindi and Telugu, 50 speaking both Telugu and English, while 20 speak all the three languages. Okay, now in the questions with questions from three set Venn diagrams, okay, it is always beneficial when you start with this region. What is this? What does this region represent? What does this region
All the
represent?
who
All
speak
the
all the
three,
languages.
English, Hindi, Telugu.
Yeah, all the three languages, isn't it? Do we know the number of students speaking all the three languages?
20.
20, yes. So please
20.
put 20 first. So always start from this region. Okay, so we have done this. Okay, 50 speak both Telugu and English. So what is the region common to Telugu and English? This entire region, isn't it? So if I consider this as x, I can say that x plus 20 is equal to 50. So in these 50 people, you can also have the person speaking all the three languages, isn't it? Okay, so x plus 20 is equal to 50, or I can say the value of x is 30. Okay, so you have 30 people speaking only English and Telugu, and you have 20 people speaking all the three languages. Okay, so what are the total number of people speaking English and Telugu? 50, isn't it? 30 plus 20. Clear? Quick responses. Any doubts? Quick responses, please. Yes. Now we have 1 minute. Now we have 50 employees speaking both Hindi and Telugu. We have considered this. 50 speak both Hindi and Telugu. Okay, so what is the common region between Hindi and Telugu? This one, isn't it? So this should represent 50 people. This should represent 50 people. We already have 20 people speaking Telugu and Hindi. These 20 speak all the three languages, isn't it? So I can say that this region will have 30 people. So we have 30 people speaking only Telugu and Hindi. Okay. Now 30 speak both English and Hindi. So what is the common region between English and Hindi? This entire region, isn't it? This entire region. So we have 30 people speaking both English and Hindi. We have 20 people speaking all the three languages. So you will have 10 people here. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Quick responses. Quick responses, please. Others, if you have no doubts, please do take some time to respond. N. No, no, no. Okay. Now, perfect. Now, what does this region represent? The number of people, the number of employees who speak only English, isn't it? And we have the total number of employees speaking English as 100. So E plus 10 plus 20 plus 30 should be equal to 100. Or what is the value of E here?
40.
So we have 40 employees who speak only English. Now let us consider H represent the persons who speak only Hindi. In that case, H plus 10 plus 20 plus 30 should be equal to 110. So H is equal to 50. So you have 50 employees who speak only Hindi. Okay, and likewise, if I consider this to be T plus 30 plus 20 plus 30 should be equal to 140. Then what is the value of T here? T will be equal to 140 minus 80, 60. So we have 60 people speaking only Telugu, isn't it? Now we have all the data with us. We have the persons who speak only English. We have persons who speak only Hindi, only Telugu, who speak only English and Telugu, who speak only Hindi and Telugu, who speak only English and Hindi, and who speak all the other all the three languages. Okay. Now, how many of them speak only Hindi? 50. Now, how many of them speak both Hindi and Telugu but not English? So the region should be common to only Hindi and Telugu but not English. So that is 30. Now, how many of them speak exactly one language? Okay, exactly one. So it can be any of these three languages. So we have 40 people speaking English. These 40 speak only English. We have 50 speaking Hindi and 60 people speaking only Telugu. So total we have 150 employees speaking exactly one language. Now, how many of them speak neither English nor Hindi? So they should not be speaking either English or Hindi. So they should be speaking only one language. What is that? They should be speaking only Telugu, isn't it? So the answer for this question should be 60. Or 1 minute. What is the total of all? Before that, what is the total of all? 40 plus 50 plus 50, this is 100, 100 plus 60 and 80, so 240. So all the 240 employees in a company speak at least one of these three languages. Okay, now I can answer 19th question. So how many of them speak neither English nor Hindi? Okay, so that will be only 60 who speak only Telugu. Okay, now how many of them speak either English or Telugu? Okay, so we will have person speaking only Telugu, that is 60. Okay, only what? Only English 40, English and Hindi 10. Okay, English and Telugu 30, Telugu and Hindi 30, three languages 20. So how many do we have? 190. So 190 speak either English or Telugu. So who are the remaining?
Only Hindi.
Okay, so from this 240, you can also do this by subtracting 50 from 240. Because these 50 are the employees who do not speak either Telugu or English. Okay, so the answer should be 190 for this question. So the answers are 50, 30, 150, 60 and 190. Clear? The questions will be tricky. Okay, but if you can understand this, okay, so you can Yeah. Answer all the questions on Venn diagrams. So how many of them can't speak Hindi? So it will be people who speak only English and only Telugu. It will be 100. So these 100 people, okay, and English and Telugu also. Okay, so 60 plus 30 plus 40, 130 people cannot speak Hindi. Or you can also do that by total number of students, employees are 240. You can subtract the persons who speak Hindi, 110. So I can say that these 130 people do not speak Hindi. Clear? Quick response. 103. Is your doubt clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Perfect. So any doubts, guys? Quick responses, please. Clear. No doubts. Okay. So consider this as homework. Okay. Consider this as a practice question. So take a screenshot of this. Okay. So if you do not get this, please let me know. The answers should be okay. We don't have the answers. I will disclose the answers in the next class. Okay. So one last DI set and we'll call it a day. Okay. So I'll give you 5 minutes to go through this. We'll discuss this after 5 minutes. Okay. This is one good data interpretation set I want to discuss. Clear, guys? So if you please try to identify this set, sorry, please try to understand this set. Okay. We'll solve this after 5 minutes. So guys, let's understand this. So we are given with two line graphs, which gives the number of students who joined and left the school from the years 1996 to 2001. Okay, so this blue line represents number of students who left the school. Red line represents who joined the school. So initial strength of the school in 1995 was 3000. Okay, now what I have done, I have I have made a table having the number of students left in each year and number of students joined in each year. So initially the strength was 3000. Now can someone tell me what will be the strength in 1996? How do we get
3,100.
3,100.
Okay, how can we find that?
100.
So
Difference
3000,
between join and left.
perfect. 3000 minus, there are 250 people left, isn't it? So subtract 250 people and 350 people joined, isn't it? So I can say that 3100, the strength in of school in the year 1996 will be 3100. Okay, so in 1997 it will be
3150.
3150 or 2950.
2950, sir.
2950.
2950, isn't it? So 3100, 450 left. So minus 450 plus 300. So 2950. Okay, here. So 2950 plus 50, again 3000. Again 3000 plus 150, 3150. Again 3150 minus 50, 3100. And again minus 100, 3000. So we can determine the number of the strength of the school by strength in previous year.
Sir, in 2001 it's 3,200.
3200. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, 3200. So strength in previous year minus number of students left plus number of students joined. Now we have strength of the school for all these years. Now the number of students studying in the school during 1999 was 3150. So the answer for this question should be option B. Clear? Now for which year the percentage rise or fall in the number of students who left the school compared to previous years is maximum? Rise or fall?
1990.
1990.
7, sir.
So let's not check
97.
for all the years. Okay, check for these 4 years. Okay, rise or fall. Here, what was the rise of? Do we have a rise or fall? Here, we have a rise? So 100. Okay, here we have a fall, 150. Here 50. Okay, here we have 150. Here we have 50. Again, here we have 100. This will be rise or fall. So for which year the percentage rise or fall? In the number of students who left the school. Okay, who left the school? Oh, sorry, my bad. So we need to compare only these values, isn't it? To previous years is maximum. Okay, 1997. So there is an increase of 200, isn't it? So earlier it was 250 and it is 450 now. Okay, and this to be compared with previous year 250. For 1998, okay, earlier it was 50 and now 450 and now 400. So there is a decrease of 50, and this should be compared with 450. Now 1999. Okay, so 400 to 350, 50 by 400. Okay, and for 2000, it is from 350 to 450. The difference is 100 divided by 350. So out of these 4 values, which is maximum? First
Which
or
value?
second?
For the year 1997.
1997. 200 by 250 will be maximum. So how can you define that? How can you get that? So between 50 and 50 by 450 and 50 by 400, which is maximum? This
50
is
by
maximum,
450.
right? This will be
400.
maximum. when you have any fraction, numerator by denominator, when numerators are same, okay, the fraction which has highest denominator will have less value, isn't it? So out of these two, I can eliminate this. Now let me consider, let me make these two equal. 50 by 400, 100 by 350. Let me make the numerators equal. So it will be 100 by 800, and this will be 100 by 350. Okay, so which will be less? Obviously, this will be less. Eliminate that. Now compare 200 by 250 and 100 by 350. So multiply this with 2, both numerator and denominator. You will be having 200 by 700. So here new denominator is maximum, so this will be less. So the answer for this question should be 1997. Clear? Yes, quick responses. Is this clear? Yeah. So the answers for this set are D, A, B, B, D. Okay, so try to solve these three questions. They are easy: percentage increase or percentage decrease. Okay, and ratios. Okay, so this is one good set which I wanted to discuss. So let's call it a day, guys. So are these data interpretation sessions helpful?
Sir.
Yes. So practice data interpretation questions. Okay. So we will be uploading tests, one test on Venn diagram and one test on data interpretation today. So please try to solve them. Okay. Any doubts, you can message me. Yeah. So keep practicing, guys. See you in the next class.